And here we are with the part 2 of the last episode. Because of the constraint of the time, we could not able to make it. Here we are with our guest, and we are continuing the show. It's the part 2 of the last show. So again, we will have a brief introduction about our guest, which is Manish. And I am happy to have you here, Manish. And it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Subal. Namaskaram. And here we are on the second part of the previous one. And thank you so much for inviting me. I've told you already, my name is Manish Mohan, and I live here in Bihar. And I've studied civil engineering, and which has led me to get closer insight into the natural aspect of our planet. And I would like to put in light those things also today.
All right. Thanks for your quick intro. This is actually most of the people they know. Those who are new, they're probably first time and they're hopping into this. For them, thanks for outlining that. So, like we were discussing in our previous episode, we pretty much talked about what exactly right now is happening in terms of the heat wave, in terms of the climate change, and then we also talked about some of the campaigns which are pretty predominantly they're working all over the world. Like Save Soil is one of them. And, yes, of course, in India, like Cauvery calling, which Isha Foundation they have been doing from 2017, and which was really successful. Even the government of India they took it as a prototype in order to implement in others like 12 states, I guess, where we have the river basin. Anyway, so apart from that thing, like if anyone is you can of course get back to the previous episode where we already covered this, so we are not going to talk about those things again, but something significant which today like I personally would like to know and about your opinion and probably how you see in this like the thing. Basically, we just had International Environment Day on June 5th, and then you probably saw different nations there. They came together and they done some kind of plantation, and which is, by the way, which is good thing. But something was bothering me from yesterday. I saw that there is some statistics. Of course, there are independent bodies, those who have done those surveys, primarily from UN bodies. And I saw those numbers. Those numbers are really, they're scary because these are crazy numbers they're talking about. And they're talking about is 2025. It's not, far from us. It's like few months left over. They said something that half of the world population, they're going to be in water scarcity by 2025, which means close to 4 billion people. Right. So this number is really crazy. First of all, I did not believe it. And then I did some of my due diligence and I then realized, these numbers are right. Surveys have been done by UN bodies. So UNCCD, one of them. So that's why I want to know a little bit more about it, because you have been really active in this Save Soil campaign from past over 2 years. But I think you probably know better than me, and you are the right person to ask this question. You are probably ready with some statistics and everything, because I saw you are active in social media and you are really trying to spread this message and trying to spread this awareness among the people. And this is the main reason probably I am bringing you in my show, and I'm asking you the same question because people like me want to get educated.
Exactly, Subal. Thank you for asking that question. And it is a very crucial thing to ask at this point, because we need to act. When you say about water scarcity is going to happen for half of the population in the world, I'm telling you water scarcity is already happening right now. Right now it is happening in a very mass scale. If you see in major cities like Bangalore and Ranchi in India, they are facing a lot of water scarcity right now. So yesterday I got to know from one of my friend that in Ranchi, if you want to install a motor, you have to take the permission of government before that. So there is so much scarcity of water. In Bangalore also you are facing the same condition. So Isha Foundation has worked a lot on Rally for River, Cauvery calling to revitalize our rivers again. So Subal, one of the important factors for water scarcity is the depleting level of soil. I'm telling you, soil is one thing that is problem for a lot of things that we are facing right now, and a better condition
Mhm.
of soil is going to be the solution for a lot of problem that we are facing and we are going to face in our future. So going into the technology of
Okay.
soil.
How do you relate to, yeah, how do you relate with that? I mean, because most of the people, they don't get it. They say soil is different, water is different. Now people are talking about in Delhi, temperature is rising, so air quality is really bad. So people don't get it. They feel like I need to fix my Delhi air first before getting into soil or before getting into water. So it's really, I mean, there is a thin line, and we need to draw this out. Yes, please.
So that is why it's very important to educate ourselves on the condition right now. If we are worried about something, suppose the pollution or the depleting level of nutrients in our food or the water scarcity or anything that is related, any problem that we are facing, it's very important to educate ourselves from it. And what is the source of that problem and what is the solution of it, isn't it? So first of all, if we see about the pollution, suppose you
Right.
said a person in Delhi will worry about the pollution. I'm telling you about the climate change that is happening. If the carbon that is stored in soil, you see the carbon that is stored in soil is three times more that in living plants. Okay, and two times
Right.
more that is already in the atmosphere. Soil is a very crucial carbon sequestration form. Okay, so if we carbon dioxide is being stored in soil right now. If we do
Mhm.
not if we do not take care of the soil, all of this carbon dioxide is going to be released. It's saying in next few years, if we do not take care of
Yeah.
the condition of the soil, 850 billion tons of carbon dioxide will be released in the atmosphere. 850 billion tons of
Oh
carbon
my
dioxide.
gosh.
That is humongous.
Holy shit.
That
Yeah,
is like if the whole humanity who is
it does. Yeah, it is.
producing the carbon dioxide for the 30 years last 30 years combined, that much is going to be released into the atmosphere because of the depleting level of soils. So if you talk about pollution,
Oh,
this is the source of pollution. This is the source of
okay.
pollution. And if we talk about water scarcity, see, all of it is
Mhm.
very much interrelated to each other. So when we talk about water scarcity, I must tell you that 65% of fresh water comes from the soil. Yeah, this number is for across the globe.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens when there is a rainfall, when the water comes on the earth, if the water is
Mhm.
not able to percolate, if the soil is not able to percolate the water inside and get it to the ground level, the water will run off on the ground and it will take away the soil and it will dump it direct somewhere. Okay. But
Okay.
but if the soil is healthy and the water percolates inside, that will be there in the groundwater and we can take it as per our use. Or if you see the perennial rivers, okay,
Mm.
uh, if the water is directly falling after runoff into the river, it will there only for the time when it's raining, when there is monsoon, where there is rainfall, the water will be there and it will dry up in the time of summers, isn't it? But
Right.
if the water percolates inside the soil, that groundwater will be released throughout the year into the water bodies. It will be there throughout the year, irrespective of the climatic condition, whether it is summer or it is winter or whatever. The water is there in the groundwater. Okay, so
Yeah,
water,
I think that's why you call it perennial river, because they
perennial
hold the
river.
water
Yes.
for throughout the year. Right.
Exactly, exactly. So this is because the organic matter in the soil can hold up 90% of its weight. Okay, the organic matter of the soil can hold the 90% of its weight of water. Okay, it can hold that much of water. But if there is no organic matter in soil, the water is definitely going to just run off on the surface. Surface runoff will happen, soil erosion will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the whole
Mm-hmm.
scenario if we
Right.
See.
So technically, I mean, if we see one way or other, the main reason is it's because of soil.
Yes.
Because we are not taking care of the soil properly.
Yes.
And it's directly or indirectly is impacting this all kinds of things. But most of the NGOs and most of the, I mean, so-called, activists in the world, they are right now, I mean, all of them are primarily focusing on one thing. I saw two trends. One is they call sustainable development, and second thing they are primarily focusing on is called climate change. Like there are NGOs, international NGOs. I mean, of course, they have funds. They do these on like all kinds of social media or other platforms. They gather their money from so many platforms, and there are so many business tycoons, those who are also investing. Again, at the same time, I don't know, maybe the market is huge and maybe there is some economical factor is attached to it, but I don't see that much interest people have been showing, especially with the Safe Soil campaign. Yes, I know close to 4 billion people, they spoke about it, but after that, what?
Yes.
What is the next step? Because we spoke about it on the Twitter, we shared, that's fine, we are doing it, but on the ground level, I'm like, how many even NGOs, how many these so-called activists, they are taking care of it? Because it's not something is happening in your city or my city or specifically in India. Like you said, 65% of world's drinking water is coming from the ground.
That's
and somewhere groundwater is running out. Like that's why we have scarcity. So
Yes.
why like people are not paying attention to this as a whole, rather than they're splitting it out in terms of air pollution, climate change, temperature rising, so many things.
Yeah, I'm telling Subal. So the idea was to somehow get to 60% of the voters, the electoral population, to actually get this idea into them so that they can speak about it. They can demand
Right.
it from the government. They want the solid policies for it. Yes.
Right.
Now the question is, when people are not so much aware about this, if they not think this is going to be the problem in coming years and they want to act upon it, they are not going to ask this from the governments, isn't it? So
Right. Absolutely.
even if government is understanding the problem, people are understanding the problem, but the implementation is not happening, we are going to face the challenge in the coming future. We are going to face this actually. If we just get down on ground and see how the condition is right now, so we will somehow put this question in front of the people who are running the government, who are making the policies, in front of the policy makers. We need to enforce this on the ground right now. So if I make a policy and I do not check it, I do not monitor it, it will somewhere go like many other policies that are being made but not checked upon, isn't it? So it is very
Right.
important that we once we form the policy, and many countries in the world, many states in India has taken up the safe soil policy, but it is very important to actually implement it on ground and take it to the farmers. And if Subal, it is not being done, we need to enforce it, because there is no time left anymore. There is no more time left for it. If we take the right actions right now, if the right actions has been taken right now, we can see the changes in next coming 10 to 15 years. But if something is not done right now and we just postponed it for 10 15 years, okay, we will see later on when the problem will come. It will take 100 to 200 years to actually make that change. When the damage will be done, we will not be in the condition to actually transform something just like that in a snap of hand. Okay, so what we are doing right now, we are trying to tell people actually what the problem is. See, this has been happening right now in the elections. If you have seen, the government bodies are trying to bribe back the population. Okay, I'll give you 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
account. What is that? This is what people are asking, and that is what the government is giving. If you understand what is the actual problem, the situation, the reality of the situation right now, if you understand it and if you ask that from the government, if you take that promise from the government to take it into their mandate, this must be happen. This must happen. So we have to
Right. Right.
take care of it. We have to speak about it. So how many people who know it actually speak about it? I have actually seen many people who come to know, this is the problem. Actually, this will be very disastrous in the coming time. They become so much aware, so much concerned about it, but the next day they forget it. They do not actually talk about it.
These are seasonal activists, I call them.
Exactly. If we all come up together, we educate ourselves, it is very easy. Go to the safesoil.org website.
Right.
See, everything is given there. Everything there is mentioned very clearly. You go actually see what is going to happen. I can just tell endless amount of problem that is going to happen and what can be done about it. But it's it's what I have learned. I have educated myself about it. I'm talking about it. If you yourself, if somebody else goes and learn it, and they make it the agenda of their life that this is what I am going to speak, this is what I am going to post and tell about the people on social media, and this is what I am going to choose a government on the basis of, the change must happen. If people ask for something, if government see this is the need of people, this is the concern of people, they have to do it. Otherwise, there will be only like movements and these kind of things, but no solid thing will happen. They will make the policy,
Absolutely.
but they will not monitor it, and the problem will persist.
Right. I agree with that.
That is why
Because
so many things happening across the world, but we are not seeing it on ground.
yes, progress is not happening on the ground in that scale. The way it's happening, like in in the other, in so many platforms. Like if I talk about virtual platforms, countries, even like you have mentioned about in your previous talk, you mentioned about the member of parliament you met and you heard about his feedback. And
Yes.
this is, I mean, these are not surprising when you have leadership in the place and they are not educated about what's happening. And these are not surprising, I mean, and this is irony because we have given people like him. There could be so many other leaderships are there, and they do not even care. They do not even know actually. So they are basically ignorant. And some people, in some cases, maybe they know, but they are not prioritizing the thing, but which they should be, rather than prioritizing other things. Like, yes, economy is there, GDP, everything needs to, this engine cannot be stopped. But at the same time, economy and ecology, they should be going together, because without ecology, for whom we are improving our economy, right?
Yes. Yes.
If we do not have, if we do not have a healthy soil, if you do not have a drinkable water to drink, then for whom you are bringing your GDP? For whom you want to be a second largest or third largest economy? This is my question. Because highways, everything is fine. Highways, airports, everything is fine. Is needed. These infrastructures are needed, but on what basis we are making? We need to first build up our foundation. Like you said, soil is the foundation, because this is the prime reason all kinds of problems we are having. I think after listening to you, I realized maybe if we can fix our soil, then probably right now in the country, I think 70 to 80% problems will be gone. One way or other, they are connected to the soil.
Yes, it is. Because Subal, if you see, uh, like this thin layer of topsoil that is on the earth, which is covering the entire earth, isn't it? This thin layer is the actually the entity on which the entire this biome, the biodiversity is existing on. This is going to support not the rock that is beneath it, not just the atmosphere that is above us, but this thin layer of topsoil is actually taking care of each and every body on the planet, whether it's plant, it's animal, or it's human being. That is the part from where we take our food. That is the part on which we live. So, if I have to give you a data about it, about 27 species every year are getting extinct. 7,000 species every year are going extinct because of the depleting level of soil. This is the loss of biodiversity. Uh,
Huge number, 27,000 species.
every year,
I mean,
every year.
every year.
Yeah,
My
and
gosh.
80%
So
of
what you
the
are doing?
yeah, 80% of the insect biomass has gone actually. 80%. So in 2014
80%.
or 15, at that time, like 10 years back, in 2014, I came to know like the farmers who were on the field, they were actually telling by their experience. So that there was a time when I used to see earthworms in my field, but now there are no earthworm. A simple
Oh,
farmer who works on the field can observe this and say, we do not need any rocket science or very deep scientific knowledge to actually understand this. Anyone who sees can see there are great number of loss of biomass on this planet. 80% of the insect biomass is gone. This is disastrous. If you take a scoop of soil in your hand, like there is more number of microorganisms, more number of life in it that entirely on the planet is. The human being, the population
wow.
of human being, whatever it is, that much is there in one spoon of soil. So soil is a living body. And because of the human intervention, because of the unbridled use of fertilizers and uprooting of trees, deforestation, like spreading chemicals endlessly on the ground, is making destroy all this insect biomass, which are the life of the soil. So we want to bring that microorganism back in the soil actually to make it live. We ourselves are
Absolutely. I
following the
agree.
suggestion.
I agree because you mentioned about deforestation. Recently, I was also, during my research, I also happened to know in past 5 years in India, I'm talking about more than 50 lakhs. That means 5 million trees are gone from the farmland. I'm talking about not mountain, not jungle
Hmm.
areas. Those
From the farmland.
things are illegally, yeah, whatever is happening from those mountain area, this is okay. This is even
Hmm.
outside of government's intervention. But think about from the farmland, 5 million
Yes.
trees are gone in 5 years. So I'm just thinking in the like the person who wrote the blog. So there was like scientific body. They have also mentioned. They said 5 billion trees. You think about how much, like how many trillions of water they could have hold. They could have held in the groundwater table. So think
Yes.
about that. It's like right now it's gone, and many when they inquired, they found out most of the farmers they have done because of their financial crisis. They had to,
Hmm.
maybe they had some marriage occasion in the house, maybe they had some other need which they had to go with this route, and I
Hmm.
get it. But
Hmm.
I think for this thing, like you mentioned about the policy, I think for this thing there should be a policy, because government should be taking care of this thing. If the person needs money, then give him the money or incentive. Tree should be in the place, something like that, so that, because of the financial crisis, because his needs are also important, because
Yes.
he didn't have any option, so he went with this option. At the same time, if some policies are in place and they're acting upon it, so I think this could have been stopped.
Absolutely, absolutely. The farmer are committing suicide across the planet. It's not the story of one place, everywhere this is happening. The food producers, those who are producing food for the entire humanity, are in such a state that they have to commit suicide. This is a unfortunate reality of the world. What are we going to do of the great being the greatest economy when the food producers who are producing the foods are like committing suicide? They're not even dying of hunger, they are committing suicide actually, because the condition is not such that they can actually sustain their own family. Okay, so the conditions are not favorable, the soil is not favorable, they have to cut the trees. If you are cutting the tree because of the industries and because of some problem, that is one thing, that is your vested interest, we can understand. that is not acceptable. But we can see this is a human desire to expand and to somehow, gain power, and so
Yeah.
they are acquiring the land by cutting trees. That is one story. One person is
Right.
doing out of sheer necessity of existing, they have to cut the trees. They don't
That
want
is
to
something
cut it,
concerning.
but they have to cut it.
This is something concerning.
This is the exact place where the role of government should enter. This is the exact place where the government should actually give a very good incentive to the farmers. See, don't cut the tree, become a grower of tree. है ना? Bring back the trees, bring
Right.
back the organic content in soil. We are there to give you incentive. If you bring back 3%, 3 to 6% of organic content in the soil, see, a soil is called soil when there is 3 to 6% of organic content in it. But right now, 62%, as I mentioned the numbers to you earlier, 62% of land in India is at the verge of desertification because the organic content has reduced to 0.5% in those soil. It's nowhere near 3 to 6%, is way below 0.5% in it. So that is not a soil anymore. That is becoming sand.
Yeah.
So it is very important the government take the necessary step to incentivize the farmer, okay, to educate the farmer, to give them the right direction that these are the practices that is needed in the field. You don't have to cut the tree, you have to grow the tree. For that we are going to pay you, we are going to give you certain incentive. If you bring back this percent of organic content in your soil, this is the amount of incentive that we will be paying you. Any farmer, any person will do it because they see this is a double benefit, isn't it? His land
Yeah.
is also getting better. He don't have to cut the trees, he don't have to scrap off his land, and for that he is getting the money. This
Right.
is a
Right.
win-win situation.
Yes, this is a win-win. Definitely, for sure, it's a win-win situation. But in order to make this happen, I think government body, they should come into play and they should pay attention to this. I mean, whosoever listening to this,
It
I
was
am
very
trying
ridiculous when
to.
I talked to my
Mhm,
MP. It was very ridiculous when I talked
mhm.
to my MP. I told him some fact about the depleting nutrient in the fruits, vegetables that we are eating. I told him the fact that the one orange that our grandfathers used to eat, if we have to consume the same amount of nutrient now, we have to eat 8 apples. I was talking about the vitamin A and the nutrients in it. He just discarded my fact and said, "What are you talking about? I am a doctor. I know that the calorie are same in whether you eat one orange or 8 orange." I said, "Sir, try to understand. I'm talking about the vitamin A. I'm talking about the nutrients. See, this is the fact from United
Calorie is
Nations."
same, but nutrients are not same. Yeah.
Different, exactly. He's not listening to my fact.
Yeah.
He's trying to just stop me from what I'm telling. The truth that I'm revealing, he
Oh
just
no,
want to
man.
cover it because he is a doctor. And I just showed him, see, this is the fact from
Mr.
United
Ego.
Nations. He said, "Oh, okay, I will check about this." Okay, right. So they are just trying to
Yeah.
evade the problem. They are just looking how to be in the power, how to just keep giving people what they are asking. The little thing that are road ये इतने पैसे कहाँ हैं, ये करवा दीजिए, वो करवा दीजिए, all the
Bas,
small
bas.
things, but not the sustainable development. The sustainable development that you were talking about, this is the sustainable solution. This is the sustainable development that you are talking about. If we do not act on
Yeah.
it right now, yeah, if we do not
Mm-hmm.
act on it right now, the future generation, the coming generation will die of hunger. It's as true as this.
I think a lot, maybe, I think Sadhguru already met our Prime Minister, and I'm sure he personally already mentioned the things and the documents, all the required data has been already provided. I'm 100% sure. But my question is, when government will start acting upon it? Because every year, throughout the year, we have elections. Somewhere election is going on. Right now, general elections are done. Along with some states, they also had their assembly election. Next 3-4 months, few more states, they will start with their assembly. So when our government will have time to pay attention to like top serious matter like this, which is really, I mean, it's time bounded, because like you have mentioned, if we don't act now, maybe it'll be too late. It'll be too late to bring back everything into, I mean, normal state. I think rather than paying attention to other things, government should prioritize this thing, because if you do not have your own soil, if you do not have your own land, then what you are going to do with these flyovers, bridges, and all kinds of economical advancement? Doesn't make any sense, right? So, I mean, today's leadership is good in so many ways. I'm not complaining about it, but at the same time, we should not be taking it for granted, because when things like this, right now, like I saw the number and the way you have spoken about the water scarcity. Okay, I just want to get back to the water scarcity again, because probably this thing will sink in people's mind, because water is something we can see it, we are like drinking it, we are using it like throughout the day. People probably will be, resonate with this. So most of the people, they're living in, cubicles, they're living in urban area, they probably don't see the soil in their whole month or maybe a year, so could be different to relate to it. But water is something everybody is using. So okay, let's talk about this more, because they will be able to resonate. We talked about the numbers, the data, what UN bodies are saying. Why do you like have to talk about the India? Like you mentioned about cities like Hyderabad, they are facing. How can we work together to protect this particular? This is a vital resource, and like what can one individual do, and then what should be the role of government? Like if you can address both the things separately.
Yes. See, I will take an example of something that is being done. For example, Cauvery calling. What are we doing? We have made it a vision to implant 242 crores of trees at the bank of on the sides of Cauvery River. So why are we actually doing it? Why Kaveri? It is very important that our rivers flow. Our rivers should flow. To have a regular source of water, it's very important that our rivers flow, isn't it? So why are rivers drying? I already told you, because of the surface runoff and not getting much water in the groundwater. That is why the rivers are drying up. The levels of river have depleted a lot. So for the cities in like Bangalore or say Delhi, Delhi has no carbon handprint. It does not have any source of its own. It borrows the resources from other states who have it. It is not surrounded by any water body. It has to actually borrow it from other states, from Punjab, from Haryana, and other states where there are rivers and everything. So what is very important, that the source of water should be in its place, should be overflowing with ampleness, isn't it? The source should be full. Yeah, that is one thing. And how the source will be full, the channel through which it flows to the source, the channel which is the soil, which are the roots of tree, which hold the soil, which hold the water, that should be in the place. Again, if we talk about everything, we see the holistic view of it. We are coming to the soil, to the trees, and the vegetation that we need to grow over it.
Right. If I get more deeper into it, because we talked about groundwater table, the roots, I mean rainfall, because I think there are also a few other reasons, like right now, where specifically, I mean, if I talk about United States and India also, it's the same reason, because most of the things we have copied from United States in terms of the technology. I mean, we can disagree on this. For example, like the way we started making dams back in the days, and right now we are also making. For example, if I talk about Nevada, like Nevada, I think they have built one of the largest lake on Colorado River. So this is largest dam. Sorry, pardon me. That's not lake. The dam they have made. And because of that, scientists came up with some, astonishing data, and they are saying, because like you have said, river has their natural flow. They have been flowing for thousands of years, right? So this natural route, and when they flow, they usually carry all the nutrients, like in the form of sediments and everything. It gets settled down. particularly on this thing, when they flow, this is called something called like aquatic life. We have fish and other lives. Those are also living, and these are basically living organisms live basically because of that natural flow of the water, like the way a river is running. So
Yes.
when we are when we are constructing dams, and after that thing, then there is a natural blockade we are creating,
Yes.
and then sorry, not natural. This is artificial blockade we are creating on the natural stream, and because of that,
Yeah.
the aquatic life they start losing their life. They start losing their natural capabilities in a like store reservoir. If you store like block it and you open it time to time, of course the aquatic life they won't be able to survive, because their way of nature, the way they live, is totally different than the way we have created. It's a man-made structure, which is good for us but not necessarily good for them, and somewhere it's
It's not
impacting the
good for
ecosystem.
us also. It is not good for us also. Yeah.
I mean, in a way, people generates revenue for the government. So in that sense, people will think like, okay,
Yeah.
we are making money.
Yes.
So of course, it is not good for anybody. It's not good for if you are
Mm.
human, if you're a conscious human, you will feel like it's not good for you also. I agree with you. I like at the same time, my question is like, do India, I mean, need such kind of dams? Because we, as you have mentioned, we already having scarcity in terms of many big rivers, major rivers. Right now, they are almost dry out. One of them was Cauvery. She is getting back to the place. Other examples, Godavari, we have
Gomti.
other Gomati, other major rivers in the central India, right? So most of them dried out.
Yeah.
If you go fly through Madhya Pradesh and some of the portion of Maharashtra, it's like barren land. And Rajasthan, I
Yes.
am not even talking about. So somewhere, like I read about, I was reading about ice age theory, and I found out that Rajasthan, the Kutch area, and that the run of Kutch, especially in Gujarat and the Rajasthan, used to be once upon a time a rainforest. Is almost close to 6 million years ago. Used to be a rainforest. So I was wondering, it used to be a rainforest. Now is like it's a desert, and like human is like almost is inhabitable. I'm thinking of, are we heading towards that? Because this kind of structures probably we do not need. The way
We
government is
do not.
spending money on making on dams, rather than same money we can investing on some other methods which are traditional in nature, and then definitely they're not causing any harms to the nature, and at the same time we can harvest, we can use rainwater harvesting. There are some NGOs, they're making wells, they're digging wells in Karnataka. They have dug almost more than 250,000 wells, because Bangalore city, because everywhere is concrete structure. Like when monsoon time, these wells, they can hold like water. They are making these wells in park, hospitals, even in apartments, so that they can hold extra water during monsoon time. And that water, they're saying it could supply almost for 3 months the city like Bangalore. So I mean, this is also one of the initiative they are taking. My question is, why government is not spending money on these things or paying attention to this thing? Those are really sustainable, and this thing can make real change. And of course, we can get back, our soil in place with implementing all these policies, rather than investing, billions of rupees on such structures like dams and things like that, reservoirs. Yeah.
True.
Would you like to pay attention? I mean, yeah. Would you like to comment on this? I mean, this is my observation I saw.
True, Subal. Subal, you have really good observation about things actually, and this is what is happening. So I will not say that government is not taking any step at all. It's not such. Like
Hmm.
Pradhan Mantri already told when Sadhguru visited him during the Safe Soil movement, he told that we are working on soil health card and things like this. We are checking the health of the
Hmm.
soil regularly. We are doing something on ground. It is definitely happening
Yes.
in our state also. The chief minister, they have uh, done something for, if you are planting one tree, there is 10 rupees for it. Such things are done. Things
Okay.
like this are existing right now, but I'm saying this is not happening on mass scale. The priority is
Right.
not that much actually. like you are mentioning about the ecology, economy is the first priority I can see, and it's okay. But ecology should be at least the second priority. It should be the second priority. There is no other way that it can. Actually, right now the priority of it is of the first one. But if you
Right.
have to keep the economy, I understand things need economy, but ecology must be second, because if we have the eyes to see, things are depleting very fast. I'm telling you from one example. Suppose if our bodies, kidney, liver, heart, spleen, everything that we have are being replaced by some artificial things, artificial liver, artificial kidney, how long will it sustain? It will not work naturally, isn't it? That is what
Will
is
survive
happening
for
when
some
we
time.
sometime, but that is not
Yeah.
long-term goal. That is not long-term
Yeah.
solution.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
that is
No.
what is happening on ground in terms of installing dams and these things, isn't it? You are
Right.
disrupting the natural way of the planet in which the planet is functioning for a long time. You say once there was a rainforest, there is not the rainforest anymore, isn't it? Now I will
Right.
try to bring some dam, I'll do this, I'll do that, but that will not work. The only solution is actually to get back to the rainforest, the way it was working previously. Sadhguru says one thing very often, that if all the human being just go from this earth, the planet will flourish. Human beings are the only problem on the planet. So all the
Absolutely.
problem that you can see on the planet right now, if all the human beings just vanish from this planet, all of this problem will be solved within a period of time. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
what we can actually understand, the solution is actually to bring back the natural way back to the planet, not installing dams and just diverting the natural way of the stream. That is not the solution. I'm telling you one example. There was one stream that was flowing, one river actually, and they wanted to build a dam there. They diverted the way through the coffer dam and made a different way for the dam, and in the meanwhile they constructed the dam. But after some time, what happened, the way they deflected the stream of the river,
Mm-hmm.
it actually crossed the entire population that was there, the city or the town that was there, and it again
Mm-hmm.
merged into the mainstream. So it just found its way back to its natural stream.
We're back to
Even
the
after
natural way.
you
Yeah.
thought it's a very smart way to actually, I will deflect it to other way, it will flow from that side. That is not the way of the way the planet function, the nature function.
Right.
The way
Right.
nature
Right.
is the best way it is.
Right.
You deflect
I
it,
mean,
but it acts. Yeah, yeah.
yes. Sorry. I mean, I was making a point that you mentioned about they are going back to the nature. So, I mean, there is a clear hint. Then we should not be playing with the nature.
Exactly.
I mean, okay. So, right now, my question is like, as you said, as a government, probably initiatives like maybe they have been already taken, and maybe they're in place working, but not the way they're supposed to be, because this these particular issues must be the priority of any particular government, because no country is doing great, I think, if we see the data. So that means we all are in the same place. It's like, at the end of the day, like, this is my understanding. Earth is closed. If we see, Earth is closed when we study all kinds of layers we have, and then atmospheric layer, and then it's not open. So it's not like that somewhere is someone is causing some harm, let's say in India or China, countries like on the other side of the planet, like America or maybe Canada, they will be safe. No, this is not the case, because it's closed. It's like just a matter of time. Things will, things will just get affected. It is just a matter of time. Maybe it's not visible right now, and impact is not that much. My question is, we will continue our campaign on this thing to keep poking the government to
Yeah.
so that policies must get into the place,
To prioritize
like
the
you are.
ecological issues, that must be the thing the government should be implementing right now. Yeah.
Right. This must be the priority, and it should be done from the state and the federal government at the same time. And this is not one particular state's issue or one country's issue. But if we only talk about India, if you're only paying attention to this, because India could be a great example in terms of, because for sustainability there are few measures they have been taken by all. I think this, like if we are able to fix the soil also, this could be a great example for the entire world. And why should not, like why shouldn't we be example? I mean, we have given so much to the world. Like if you start about the yoga, if you start about astronomy, mathematics, so many things, like architecture. I mean, I'm not going into those things, but why not in this thing too? Because probably like we are causing so much disruption, pollution right now, because we are in developing state, because we are, if you know about Delhi's state, so Delhi exactly right now position is in terms of the pollution and all kinds of indexes. So we can also be a solution provider. Why not? If we have created all this problem, we can be also solution provider, and government also can take advantage of this thing to become a Bishwa Guru. Right now this is becoming a trend, and this is becoming a, I would say, the sentiment of the nation. So we can also become a Bishwa Guru, or world leader, by providing a solution to this is like problem, like such a major issue like soil. And I think this could this could improve India's like foreign relations with so many countries. Not only it's going to help our soil, it's going to fix our soil. India can take advantage of this thing in so many things, like in the UN Security Council we can take advantage. We can take advantage of building our strong foreign relationship, and we can ask for the things which needs to be done when it comes to the very strong countries like US or Russia, or some other nations, because we have three couple of disturbing neighbors right now. Bangladesh is becoming also one of the, is joining their campaign along with Pakistan and China. So in order to have those big guys in your game, if you provide something, it's really huge problem. If you can come up with some solution, and if India becomes a world leader, I think this is going to change the entire game, and India should take advantage of this. That's all I'm saying. The problem is there. So what could be the individual approach, like in your understanding, like what you are doing in your daily life, for example, to to mitigate the specifically the water scarcity we are talking about? What could be one individual approach, and what I should do? What would be your advice to me, or suggestion I can do, and the other people they're listening to you right now?
Yes, definitely. So, Subal, one of the important thing that you already said, you said about India being a Vishwa Guru. Yeah. So, see, what we are talking right now, it is not that people actually do not know about it. They actually have a very good idea about what is happening, the change they are actually seeing. Everybody who has lived 20 or 25 years of their life, they have seen the change themselves, isn't it? It's not something that we
Right.
find in books or some other source. It is the reality of what we are seeing right now. So what happened? Sadhguru, he traveled 30,000 kilometers on motorbike. He could have done it through a flight or a car or anything that was comfortable. But he actually chose a very challenging way to travel 30,000 kilometers across 28 countries to let people know actually about it, which turned out in
Right.
such a way that more than 4 billion people actually started to understand, to know about the depleting level of soil. Before that, it was not there that much. What Sadhguru has done, only he has risked his life to such extent that everyone was like, they have to listen what he was saying. And it has made a phenomenal change in the world. Many countries, like more than 80 countries, have taken up the safe soil policy. In India, 11 states have implemented the safe soil policy. This has happened only
Right.
one man traveled this long and actually spoke about it, what was happening. And he also himself is doing with his organization. He is helping farmers through farmer produce organizations and the different movements such as Cauvery Calling, Save Soil, and Rally for River. These are the movements which is happening on the ground. It is helping the farmers. Farmers are producing the results. They are getting richer. Their income has increased 800% from what it was before, from the ways he has suggested. the organization, the foundation has suggested. So if we see what he has done on a larger scale, if we do it on the scale that we are able to do it from our capability, simply spreading the awareness and doing something on the ground. So there are many organizations. If you want to donate for Kaveri calling, each sapling cost only 42 rupees. If you go on the website and you donate few saplings, that will be a help. If you cannot go and do it on ground, you are donating it actually for a greater cause. That is also sort of help, support. Your money will be
Right,
used
right.
for helping the farmers to revitalizing the
Absolutely.
river. There are multiple solution ways in which you can participate in this grand solution. So make it a celebration in yourself. You yourself every month take this challenge for yourself that this month I am going to plant 5 trees. This month I am going to donate this much trees. Isn't it? This many people
Right.
I should reach and I should tell about this is going to happen. You should make it your priority in your life that this must be your goal in your life. Whatever you do, it must be directed towards producing a solution in that direction. Isn't it?
Right.
This is all thing we can do it right now, isn't it? If we can plant a tree, that is very good. In my house, I have planted a lot of trees around. I have done so many trees. I have talked to many farmers across. I created a song, and actually I have you
Yeah.
can find the song on YouTube. It is by the name Pukare Ma, and it has touched more than 90,000 to 1 lakh people. So through my voice, I have actually touched
Wow.
that many people. If you listen that song, it will actually let you know what is happening to the planet and what we must do about it. So there are
Yes.
multiple ways, whatever you're doing. I'm telling you, I mentioned you about data science. You can use your technology, you can use whatever you are doing right now to support this planet. It's not just you have to go into the soil. If you go into the soil, that is very blessed thing for the planet, also for your body. The way you are made is also being supported in a tremendous way if you put your hand and feet in soil, because soil is what we are made of. Our body is made of soil, isn't it? So it's very important
Right.
that we somehow come in touch with soil. Somehow we work towards the soil, the tree, the planet. And that should be the priority in our life.
Right. Absolutely. Very well said, Manish. Yeah. Along with your tips, I also would like to add few more points, like what Manish said. Absolutely, guys, we can do it, and we must do it. I am also I'm also continuing my contribution to Kaveri calling. Whenever is feasible for me, I do that. Along with that, like if we can also take care of changes, if we can bring this thing in our life. For example, every morning we wake up, we brush our teeth. When we are brushing, at the same time, some people I've noticed, even in my family also, they keep water running all the time while they're even brushing. Maybe they're looking at the mirror, they're brushing. So I mean, think about it. If you pay attention in this 15-second, 20-second, whatever time you're taking, I don't know, hopefully you can save few liters of water. Think about multiply with months, multiply with year, how much liter you have saved by yourself just for doing these things. I have seen few people, what they do is they use their this particular water and they recycle it instead of running it. Some people, they cannot control in themselves, so they keep open that thing knob from the downside, so they're storing that water into a secondary storage. You can also do such things. These are very few things. When you are going for shower, try to have shower in medium mode. The knob, don't turn it into the full speed. That you charges the simple mechanics. So you can put it into a medium knob, use that thing, and it still it works, right? At this,
Yeah.
or try to, like, these are the few things. I also use the recycled water, like the wastewater. What I try to put them into. I have few like samplings in my room also, so I also try to put them like use that particular water. So I'm not using too much water, but at the same time, like, we should also pay attention to that we are not, we should be hydrated enough because it's too hot right now. So think about that. Things I'm doing right now. So that's why I was able to share that thing with you. And I think if we can take care of this thing for our own sake, think about, we have 5 family members in home. How much liter water you have saved for yourself, for your own family? And this message, if we can pass it into our neighborhood with our relatives, think about that. How much water will change? It's a huge change. Again, we are saving our groundwater table. It's not, people will feel like, yes, I'm paying for the water. So what? I should use it. It's not about you're paying. Yes, you're paying a rent, but we do not hold, we do not own these natural resources. Neither, I mean, nobody, neither government, neither we. So we are just, yeah, these are like came from previous generations. We should be able to pass these things to our next generation in, like obviously in good state, not the way right now we are living in. So I mean, these things anybody can do it, and it doesn't need, like Manish said.
There is a difference between using and exploiting it, isn't it? So this is something offered to us that has been passed to us from our previous generation. We must be responsible. We should actually pass it to the next generation, if not better, at least in the same condition that we have received it, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. Because this is really powerful thing. Manish has said, I think, guys, it is really powerful, because if we are not able to improve it, at least we should be able to transfer or hand it over to them the way we have received it, rather than ruining it. So we have right now technology, we have the education, we have knowledge, we have access to everything. Why don't we start doing things in our own way? You will feel like, okay, if I plant a tree, what difference I will make? Do that thing. Take the initiative, take the call, do that thing for your own sake. If you save your water while you are brushing, or maybe while you are showering, save that thing. I mean, you don't know. Maybe you're saving water for your next generation is coming, which is yet to born. So you never know. I mean, in this way, if we can take these small steps, I think we can make, it's a small step, but we can make some changes in the society, because government is doing. And if you like keep quiet, okay, government, they should do. We should not be forgetting that we are living in a democracy. That means we also have our own duty. We have our fundamental rights. At the same time, we should be aware of our fundamental duties as a citizen of wherever you are living in your nationality. So we should be able to do that. I mean, these few things, and these are not rocket science. We can find so many excuses to not to do things, and for to take actions. One reason is fine. Maybe like you are conscious. Maybe you want to save the soil, or maybe you want to do it for your next generation. So that's everything. It was really, I mean, nice conversation with you, Manish, because you touched so many issues which are really hidden. I mean, today's time. Maybe in our fast life, we are too much in hodgepodge. We don't pay attention to this thing, and in so many ways, we can really explore these things in our, of course, in our individual level. I mean, any final tip or any final solution you want to come up with, so that people can become more conscious about it, and they can consciously, and they can, these things should come from within. Things to say about it.
So one of the most important thing I want to actually say is, see, there are many things that is happening in our life which we cannot ignore, of course. We have to run a family, we have to give an exam, we have to earn for our children, we have to go to office, all sort of problem is there. We have to run our business. It's not that there are no situation in individual life. It is there. So we are also battling with it. We see, we are not, if we are not taking care, we are not taking responsibility of our environment. So whatever we are doing, what other things we are doing, it's not that we are doing it very joyfully, very exuberantly, we are doing it very well and very consciously. That's not the situation. There are everything that we are suffering in. We are suffering our own mental framework. We are suffering our own thoughts. One of the main problem, if we come out from the ecological thing, if we see this system, our thoughts are so endless. We want to stop it, but we cannot stop it. We want to get rid of the unnecessary thought, and we are not getting rid of it. We do not know how to actually handle this, isn't it? We are consuming things that we should not consume. This body does not support those things, but we are consuming it. What is the solution for it? Of course, we need to be very conscious about what we are doing. This is a system. If we see, there are only four ways in which we can do any kind of activity, which in the ways we exist here, is the body that we have, is the mind that we have, our emotions, and the energy which drives all of this. These are the four different dimensions that we have through which we can do the action. So we need to take charge of all these faculties that we have, and there is a way for it. See, yoga is a technology. Yoga is a method through which we can be conscious and we can take charge of our life. See, if I have a mind that is thinking endlessly, I need to do something about it so that I can work from it the way I want. I want the mind focused. I want my mind joyful. I want my emotions loving. So, what should I do about it? So, there is simply one technology, one method to do all of this, that is yoga. See, understanding yoga, there is some preconceived notion about yoga that you have to bend your body in impossible postures and that will be yoga. That is not yoga. Okay. So if you want to be a yogi, if you want to do yoga, if you have to be spiritual, you have to leave your work, your house, and you have to move to mountains. That is not yoga actually. You can be in your home, in your relation, in your place, in your everything, and you can still do yoga and get out of the problems that you are facing every day with yourself also. If we take care of this body, this mind, then only we can think about other things, other problems. We can think about other people problems.
Right.
The problem of the planet, it is very important to actually take
Right.
care of what this is. Our body and our mind should be in our hands the way we want to actually do it. So for this, there is very simply, I would say, to explore it yourself. Whatever amount of points I bring in front of you, that will be of no use if only you just experience it by yourself. So right now
Mhm.
there is a 21-day yoga challenge on Sadhguru app. It is very simple. You download Sadhguru app on your phone, you log in into the Sadhguru app, and there is 21-day yoga challenge there, isn't it? You just go for every day, there is 5 minute, 3 minute, 8 minute, 10 minute yoga for you, which will bring well-being overall for yourself. That will create love in you, that will create peace in you. You can be more successful doing that kind of yoga. For your overall well-being, there is yoga, and there is a reward for that also. If you complete one day of yoga, you will get something. If you complete 7 days of yoga, you will get something free, and that will be very rewarding for you actually. And in the end, when you complete it, you will get an extra discount on inner engineering program, which is a very powerful program. I have done it 5 years ago and it has worked tremendously in my life, Subal. It has transformed everything that I was. And
Mhm.
I must say I got a different life after inner engineering. What I was before it, what I am after it is a complete different stories altogether. So it is very
Yeah.
important to work on us first of all. And I'm assuring this one thing. I'm giving this assurance to you of whatever you're doing. If it is your studies, if it is your work, if it is your family, your relation, whatever it will be definitely 50% more better than it, whatever it is right now. And it is in your hand. If you want to make it 100% better, you can do it because you are getting the charge of your own faculties, your own body, your mind, your emotions, and your energy. So it is my request to all of you to bring this in your life actually. This is a holistic solution for everything in this life, for this planet, for yourself, and for everyone living here.
Wow, absolutely. I mean, thank you for articulating everything in this profound way. You pretty much came up with a solution. I mean, which government can take it? Like every individual level, we can take some initiative. Like we can at least take charge of ourselves. Like this is absolutely true. And through yoga, we can get in line with the universe and the consciousness we already have. We can enhance it, and we can, rather than doing it unconsciously, we can do the things consciously. Like Manish has said, great opportunity. the thing Manisha has mentioned, 21 days yoga. The best thing is it is totally free of cost, so you don't have to pay anything. Those people are, having maybe money is the main hurdle. Okay, go give it a shot. It's free of cost, and like he said, there are so many rewards, and they're really, those rewards even itself, they're worth a lot of money, and you are getting free of cost. It's going to change your life in so many ways. You can't even imagine. Anyways, other than this, I would like to ask you related it's a follow-up question, you can say, because as you have introduced the yoga, you also brought the consciousness and the save soil is together. Everything you brought together. This is, I think it could be also a relevant question probably. What do you think a person's lifestyle, more specifically, to be politically correct, like what should personally a person should eat? Should be a vegetarian or non-vegetarian? Like what is really more ecological? And it is like you brought up the dimension of yoga and what is going to help him and which kind of lifestyle he's following in terms of his or her spiritual growth.
So one thing we can do is we have to see that we should not put ourselves in categories like I am vegetarian or I am non-vegetarian. I should eat this, I should not eat this. One of the things you can experiment it yourself is you intake something and you see how it is behaving within yourself. If you don't have if you are not that sensitive that what is working which way in yourself, you have to follow ways what we should eat, what we should not eat. So there are like food can be divided into two things. It can be seen as two categories, that is pranic food and non-pranic food, negative pranic food. So positive pranic food are those food which are adding energy to you, and negative pranic foods are those food that is taking energy from you. So we see there are six things which come in a negative pranic food. That is garlic, it's onion, it's tea, it's coffee, it's asafoetida that we call hing, and brinjal. These kind of things are negative pranic. Not that it's very bad or it's some kind of sin to eat onion, garlic, chicken, mutton. This is not the case actually. This is how it functions in our body. See, if I have a car that is petrol engine, and if I put kerosene oil in it, so you know
Right.
what will happen to your engine, isn't it? We need to know
Absolutely.
what works best for this body. What works best is things that add energy to us. That is positive pranic.
Right.
And also
Right.
which is very light in its complexity. It's not very complex structure, it's very simple structure. Suppose fruit or green vegetables, if you eat it, it is going to be digested in like 2 to 4 hours. It will be digested in you because it is of simple structure. But something, if you
Right.
eat of a complex structure, suppose you eat mutton or red meat, which is of complex structure, that will take a long time to digest and it will stay in your colon for long time, isn't it? Anything that stays for long time in this body is not good for this body. The food should go inside, it should do its work, it should give the nutrients, spread the nutrients in the body, and it should come out of it. That's the best thing you can do. Other than that, you can, if you do yoga, if you do the meditation, if you do other things to be more sensitive, you can yourself see what is best for this body. And in yogic tradition, it is said that if you eat the food that is grown in the radius of 40 kilometers of where you live, that is the best thing for your body, because the soil that you are walking upon, the soil you are living upon, and the food that is growing in the same type of soil will be very good for your body. It will reduce a multiple kind of chronic illness from your body. Diabetes, sugar, high blood pressure, these things will fall like itself. Yeah.
Okay. Thing. And also along with this, guys, I also want to add one more point what Manish has said. Like it's about religion or it's not about anything, because if you go with the statistics also, if you are a meat eater, let's say, in order to graze those cattle, you need land. And now, even scientists, they're coming up with the numbers. So they're saying the amount of land we need in order to graze these cattle. Probably in Western countries, they are eating beef, they are eating pork in so many ways. But like you need to graze them, and in order to graze them, you need land. So the amount of land we are using, it's way more than the amount of land we are using actually for cultivation or vegetation. So think about it. And the amount of water they're absorbing, it's way many folds than what exactly the amount of needed in order to grow any kind of crops or any kind of green vegetables. So think about it, which route you want to choose, and we can contribute something for the betterment of the ecology or the environment. Yes, with having said that, conversation, Manish, so many great topics we have covered and much learning, and it was really informational session, I would say, for me especially. For audience, you can come in the comment section, you can let me know, and if you guys like it, let me know. We will again request Manish to come into our show and share his wisdom, because he's constantly researching, he's constantly being active in the out there in the social media. So you guys can also reach out to Manish. Manish, you would like to mention like about your intrawebs you're available so that they can reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm very much active on Instagram. You can directly message me and follow me in Instagram. Username is Manish_Mohan_save soil. You can text me and follow me there if you want to. And also you can see my YouTube channel. It's with the name of Manish Mohan. And you can find the song which I was talking about. It's there. And yes, you can connect me whenever you want, and we can talk about different aspects also, that is there. If you want to support somehow, I will tell you, you can go to savesoil.org and you can educate yourself there about the depleting levels of soil and what is happening to the to our entire planet. Other than that, you can download Sadhguru app. There is daily wisdom and the ways you can enhance your life. It is there. It's the time we must all do this. Okay, so these are the things we can stay connected through.
It was really great tips. So guys, go and check it out, and probably these things will bring some sort of spirituality or consciousness in your life. That's exactly all what we are doing in this channel, and this is our whole soul agenda, I would say, and what exactly we are committed to. All right, so it was really nice talking to you, Manish, and it's a great to have you in my show second time. And yeah, it was my sole pleasure. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Subal. It was same feeling for me. I was feeling very much privileged to be here. Thank you. Namaskaram.
namaskaram.